Lovejoy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us through the morning hours of this particular beautiful day. We thank God for the gift of life. As we say, this is the third match of this third day of the fourth leg of the Kenya Volleyball Federation, coming from you in the Moi International Indoor Sports Arena. It's a very entertaining match between the Kenya Commercial Bank women's team and the Kenya Prisons women's side. It's quite an entertaining match. This is one of the most thrilling match of the day. Let's wait and see how it unfolds. With you today from this desk of commentary, it's Luke Operator. So sit calm, relax, and wait for this particular beautiful and entertaining encounter. Thank you. Welcome all.
hapo ifanye na simu utatumia unatangazia hapa hata kitaka kuongeza zingine hata unaweza nini sitaki watu wanaona sio chini ila tena nyumba nisikie niko huko nitembelea kwa ile kona huko juu huko na kumengia hapo ndo tashangaa na mimi tunaweza kwa hiyo waya hivi. Aina sasa hiyo wana mwenyewe wana makosa bure. Funge tena hivi alafu zio game tena fungue tena
the sun. Namwona coach Chabut, ndiye referee, ndiye mambo sawa. From athletics to volleyball. Okay. Kenya Prisons versus KCB. Women team match. Set number 1 just about to begin.
amepata kazi, anatoka kazi anashika mimba. Sisi tulikuwa emergency.
aweze kuongoza katika mechi ambayo inafuata.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. The much eagerly awaited match between the Kenya Prisons service side and the Kenya Commercial Bank side is coming live to you at this particular point.
From where to where? And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the starting lineup for KCB. Naona bado
wako kwa maombi wakubali wito.
And now, introducing the starting lineup for KCB. Wearing jersey number 1, she's also the captain, Eddie Mukulani. Wearing jersey number 3, Maria Musa. Wearing jersey number 6, Belinda Barazao. Wearing jersey number 7, Juliana Mutira. Wearing jersey number 8, Esther Mutinda. And wearing jersey number 15, Deborah Jessan. Libero player wearing jersey number 16, Lindsay Jeruto. Head coach, Munana Japhet Bundani.
Bundana Japhet Onana, jina kubwa.
Jina mzito. And now introducing the starting lineup for Team Kenya Prison.
Mageza.
Wearing jersey number 1, ni kwa referee. Asante sana.
Game Zito.
Bila shaka mechi ya kukata na shoka uliokuwa watu wa pili watch. These are among the finest women volleyballers we have in this country. Majority of the upcoming Makia strikers team is composed of members of these teams that are about to pass it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, off we start with this entertaining encounter. Kicking us off is Esther Mutinda, setter KCB. Off we start, KCB with the service.
Let the battle begin.
Nicely picked by the KCB side. I think the ball is out of play. Yes, the ball is out of play. Prisons anticipated for a touch on the block, or either a ball in court, but the ball is out of play. Still serving Esther Mutinda for KCB. Nicely picked. Powerful hit onto the court. Meldina Sande for the prison side, ensuring that they get that particular point effectively. Onto the service. Setter. Prison service, Joy. Nicely picked. Lindsay Kosgei. Nicely attacked by Maria Musa from the KCB side. Maria Musa with the service. Quite an entertaining encounter. Nicely served. Well picked, Pamela Masaisai. And with the tip, but not effective. Nicely hit. Then a set. Picked again. Then awfully set by the middle blocker, Edith Huisa, off the pitch, leaving Julian and Amutira with nothing to do. Still serving is Meldina Sande for the Kenya Prison side, and the ball is in the court according to the judgment of the Lion judges. So it's an ace serve by Meldina Sande. Still serving Meldina. Nicely picked. Maria Musa. Powerful hit by Juliana Mutira, but not successful. And a very solid block by the Kenya Commercial Bank women's side. By the look of things, how it started, this shows this game is going to be one of the most entertaining matches. Edith Wisa, who happens to be the captain of the KCB side. Slight miscommunication. Nicely picked Meldina Sande. And strictly played by Kenya Prison side. Chemutai having made a comeback in the team. Not fortunate to score that score, but worth a try. Still serving is Edith Wisa of the KCB side. Nicely picked Meldina Sande. Chemutai with the attack. Nicely picked Esther Mutinda. An attack by Maria Musa, which was quite driven across, but not well picked by Meldina Sande of the Kenya Prison side. Still serving KCB, Edith Wisa with the service. Simple, but a tricky. Nicely picked. Kenya Prison side Pamela Masasai hitting it very far at the end of the pitch, giving Prisons side the 4th point of the game. Prison side with the service, and with the service, having been known as a very technical server. Nicely served, well picked. Juliana Namutira nicely attacked Maria Musa from the backcourt to give KCB the 6th point. Nicely served, KCB. Nicely picked again, KCB. Powerful hit by Juliana Namutira, but quite unfortunate. It's off at the court. Could have been well effective. Could have been quite effective if the ball was in court. So Chebutai with the service. Nicely picked Lindsay Kosgei, and an error in attack by Belinda Baraza. This is quite evident with the setter having a talk with Belinda, asking her if the ball was good or she should adjust it. Service still, Kenya Prison service. Chebutai with the service. Nicely picked by Rabu Musa. And a ball out of play. I think this calls for timeout from the Kenya Commercial Bank coach, Mr. Japheth Monala. He's trying to have a talk. Slight miscommunication. I think the technical bench of the Kenya Commercial Bank should have used the bell to call for timeout. Still serving, Kenya Prisons side. Chebutai with the service, having a slender 1 point lead. Nicely picked Maria Musa. Tricky play, Belinda Baraza, and nicely picked again by Maria Musa. And a very good play by Belinda Baraza, covering the mistake initially done by her. Onto the service, Juliana Namutira, famously known as Bulldozer or Bulu. Service KCB, nicely picked by Dinda Sande. Powerful attack from Maila Masai. An attempt by Maria Musa to pick the ball, but it's not quite picked well, and it's a point to Kenya Prisons service side. Onto the service side from the prison side, Pamela Masai. Nice service, easily picked, Lindsay Kosgei. And an attack error by the opposite KCB. She hasn't gotten quite the rhythm in this particular match. Hoping for the best in this match for her. This gives Prison a 2-point lead. Nicely served, nicely picked, and powerfully attacked by Maria Musa to get a score for the Kenya Commercial Bank side. I think Maria Musa has been the star player for the Kenya Commercial Bank, having executed almost all his scores and getting a score. Belinda Baraza with the service, and it's quite costly and not fortunate to cross the net, restoring the Kenya Prisons 2-point margin. Lauren with the service, very good float server. Not best picked by Maria Musa, and now it's attack by Meldina Sande, sending Lindsay Kosgei to the floor. And an error by Maria Musa, which is her first error of the game. I think the Kenya Commercial Bank side should try and work on their reception part in order for the setters to have a comfortable time of play. It's quite unfortunate they are not receiving well, hence quite open balls and quite unfortunate errors. As I said earlier, for those wishing to join us, the game can be watched live from our YouTube channel as Trailblazers Polo Club. And if you are able and manageable to join us, you can visit us at the Moi International Sports Indoor Arena. Still serving is Lauren from Kenya Prisons side. Nicely served, nicely picked for Musa, and nicely executed by Eddie Twisa on a touch out on the block from Meldina Sunday. Going to the service, Esther Mutinda, the engine of the Kenya Commercial Bank side. Nicely served, easily picked Meldina Sunday, and nicely hit by Anne from a back set through Joy Lucenak. Prisons are quite composed in this particular game. I think they're looking at the game going well, good towards the way. Nicely served, nicely picked Juliana Namutira, and nicely picked again Pamela Masaisai. Nicely attacked and picked away. Spin over, nicely picked again. It's gonna be a fine rally. Powerful hit by Mariam Musa using the Prisons block, hence getting a very nice and well deserved point. Under the service is Mariam Musa for the Kenya Commercial Bank women's side. Nicely served, nicely picked, nicely set, quickly executed. Nice effort from Esther Mutinda off the KCB side, but not successful. So Kenya Prisons side have a 4-point lead, while controlling this part of the game. Meldina Sunday with the service. Nicely served, picked well, and it's an attack error by Juliana Namutira. She hasn't well composed herself in this particular match. She has to compose herself in order for them to have a great outing in this match. If not, it's gonna be a tough day in office. Nicely picked by Lindsay Kosgei. An attempt in defending that ball, but it's not in play. This takes KCB to 11 points, whereas the Kenya Prisons women's side maintain at 15 points. Service Eddie Twisa, and it's a nice serve on Meldina Sunday. Not a powerful service, but a technical service. So the Kenya Prison side have to be well conversant with how Eddie Twisa, who is a former employer of the Kenya Prison side, serving onto the side. Nicely served, nicely picked, and it's a block in the middle by Belinda Baraza. KCB, I think they are playing very well, composing themselves, and I think they are moving close towards Kenya Prisons. Back to a 2-point deficit. Edith with a serving still. Nicely picked, nicely set by Joy, and strictly attacked by Pamela Masaisai, utilizing the blocks of the KCB side, giving a Kenya Prison side their 16th point in this particular set. And lower with the service, nicely served, not best of the picks by the KCB side. It's a chance ball to the Prison side, nicely picked, not set well. The opportunity for the KCB side, and they utilize it very well. I think the Prison side have to utilize the chance ball well for them to take control of this game. If not, the KCB side are gonna get after them. Service by KCB. As they served, easily picked Melina Sunday, and quickly hit in the middle by Lorraine. She's quite good of a player. Having said earlier, these two teams have had an exchange of player. Lorraine was previously a Kenya Commercial Bank player, then went to the Kenya Prisons side. Nicely picked by Melina Sunday. I think they have to take it just across. Nicely picked again, Juliana Namutira. Nicely picked again, Melina Sunday. I think nicely played, but quite fortunate to be seen. I think the ball is out of play. It's another error by Mariam Musa. These shows that KCB are in control, not definitely in control, but a bit losing it at some point. Nicely picked again, Mariam Musa. Powerful hit by Juliana Mutira, defended well by the libero, but it's quite unfortunate the ball went out of the pitch, giving KCB their 15th point of this particular match. Still with the service is KCB, serving is Juliana Mutira. Nicely picked again, Melina Sunday. Powerful attack, Lorraine in the middle. I think Belinda Baraza has to see a way she can cope up with the reflex and the speed of Lorraine, which is quite not an easy task to do. Nicely set, Esther Mutinda, and hit by Mariam Musa. Pamela Musaisai, it's set out, and Mariam Musa with a tricky play to give KCB their 16-point mark. Back, it's a 3-point deficit. Kenya Prisons at 19 and Kenya Commercial Bank 16. Massimo Im comes in for Belinda Baraza. I think is the service department. Nicely picked Melina Sunday, and I think it's a set violation by the setter. Still serving Massimo Im, captain of the Malkia Strikers. Technical service, nicely served, nicely picked, well executed. Melina Sunday, having received that ball very well, executed quite perfectly to other Kenya Commercial Bank side. Onto the service side is Lauren. Technical server, nicely served, not picked well by Mariam Musa, but I think he tried to make up on his mistake. Powerful hit by Melina Sunday to capitalize on the misfortune of the KCB side, who weren't able to execute the attack very well. This calls for time out from the KCB side through the coach, Mr. Jafet Munala. I think it's time he needs his players to relax a bit. Prisons Kenya take a 4-point lead, sitting well comfortable at the 21st point mark, while KCB following closely at the 17-point mark. Nice execution by Mariam Musa. to take it back to a 3-point deficit. She has been well consistent in this game. She has been the star player of the Kenya Commercial side back. All she requires is a bit of effort from the fellow players, and she'll actually get this game for the KCB side. Untimely error by Meldina Sande. The ball, quite unfortunately, didn't touch the block, touch the net, and unfortunately went out of play. This calls for a timeout. From the Kenya Prison side to at least cool off the players. I think pressure is mounting in, having reached the 20th point mark, and it's almost the climax of this particular set. They had a 4-point lead, but now it's back to a 2-point lead. Still serving is Esther Mutinda, the setter. Be nicely picked, Mela Masaisai, and then picked again by nicely blocked KCB. Nicely picked again by it's quite a good rally, Meldina Sande, and quite fortunately she's blocked. Actually, the blocks of the KCB side actually seems to be very, very tall, forcing Meldina Sande to look for alternatives in order to get these particular scores. It's back to a 1-point deficit. Still Esther Mutinda serving, nicely served, well picked from Mela Masaisai. Nicely set, Joel Senaka, not that best of set, picked well, Daulana Motira. Eddie Twiza with the tip, nicely set, powerful hit, Meldina Sande. Then it's a chance ball to the KCB side. I think KCB will utilize it, and they does very well. Eddie Twiza with the score, taking it to a 21 apiece scoreline. So the Kenya Prison side have squandered their 4-point lead. It was 21-17, and it's back to 21 apiece. Still serving is Esther Mutinda. Because of a change from the Prison side, out comes the setter and the opposite, and another mistake by the Kenya Prison side. This makes it Kenya Commercial Bank 22, then Kenya Prison are at 21. As we said earlier, in volleyball it's not over until it's over, but the events unfolding at the Indoor Kasarani. As you can see, Prisons were way in front, but composure from the KCB side and quick execution, perfect timing. They are in front by a point. Cause for substitution comes Ovinya in, and it's a net violation by the Kenya Prisons outside hitter. Oh, she has just come in, Ovinya. It's quite unfortunately, it's not good to come in and the first thing you get, it's a violation. Poorly picked and nicely executed by the KCB side, taking KCB to 24 points, whereas the Kenya Prison side are at 21 points. Looking at things, how it has unfolded, the Kenya Commercial Bank have gained 8 points, whereas the Kenya Prison sides haven't gained anything. It's quite unfortunate. Nicely picked by the Prison side, but it's quite unfortunate. They lose the first set by 25 points to 1. This calls for the technical bench of the Kenya Prison side to chip in and see how they can do well in the second set. For those wishing to join us in this training encounter, you can come to the Moi International Indoor Arena, and for those who are quite unfortunate not to make it to the International Indoor Stadium in Kasarani, you can join us through our YouTube channel at Trailblazers Volleyball Club. Onto the comment section, Elisha Oman, light tico too bright. I think we'll check and adjust on it. Stana Enterprise 3-2 in favor of KCB. Let's wait and unfold and see how it goes. Thank you very much. Sit back, relax, and wait for the second set.
Asante sana. Tablet. Here.
Wacha ujinga. Wacha
Thank you so much, DJ. Match between Kenya Prisons and KCB is ongoing. I want to welcome and appreciate the presence of Honorable Mr. Amboseli Dan Wanyama, the MP for Webuye West. Karibu sana ndani ya ukumbi. Ile timu ya volleyball inamuita kumkusu
Powerful attack by Chemutai. Nicely picked by Ravi Musa on the set by and a powerful hit. Julian Namuthira, miscommunication. Chance ball to the Kenya Prison side, nicely set. And a powerful hit by Chemutai. I think the Kenya Prison side have started to gain some momentum in this particular game. Hoping they can continue it until the final part of this particular game. Service and loan. Poorly served. It's not the best of services off the court. I think the Prison side need to focus more, having trained a bit in this particular match. Onto the service is the KCB opposite, the post gay. Nicely served, easily picked, Bildina Sande. Tricky play by Chemutai, but not successful. And a very powerful block by Belinda Barasa. That is the advantage of being very, very tall. I think Chemutai needs to dig in deep and see how she can penetrate that block. It's quite tall. Still serving KCB. Nicely served, poorly picked. And it's a save from Lorraine, assisting with the initially not picked ball by their opposite. The KCB are in a very, very good commanding lead of 10 points to 5 of the Kenya Prison side. An attempt by Mariam Musa to take the ball across, but shut down by Laureen Juma. Still serving is Chemutai for Kenya Prison side. Nicely served, not perfectly picked. And an attack error by Juliana Namuthira. I think if she could have gone for power, she could at least have an attempt on the blocks, but quite unfortunately it did even touch the block. Still serving is Chemutai for Kenya Prisons. Nicely picked Juliana Namuthira. Nicely played by Belinda Baraza. Very tricky shot and nicely executed by her to give them their 11th point of this particular match. Onto the service line is Juliana Namuthira for KCB. I think the floor has some sweat. I think it's being wiped so that to avoid any inconveniences with the play. Serving for KCB, Juliana Namuthira. Nicely served. Sorry, it's quite unfortunate the ball didn't cross over to the Kenya Prison side. Onto the service line for Kenya Prison side, Pamela Masaisai. Nicely served, giving the KCB side something to think, and I think the KCB side were well. I think they got a bit of confusion in the build up to that play. Serving still Pamela Masaisai, nicely served. it's a tricky play by Belinda Baraza, trying to salvage what has been set to her by the setter Esther Mutinda. It's not the best of position for her to set, but at least she has helped the setter. Serving is Belinda Baraza for KCB. Not easily picked. Meldina Sande with the power, nicely picked Juliana Mutira. And a very powerful block by Edith Wisa to deny Lauren Juma to cross over to their court. I think Kenya Prisons need a lot to move forward to this game. So KCB stretched the lead to 4. Serving Belinda Baraza, nicely picked. Chepusgei, then set in the middle by Esther Mutinda. Esther calls it. A drive to the other side by Mariam Musa. Powerful hit. Meldina Sande down the line, giving Chepusgei no chance to pick that ball. I think the setter Joy Lusenaka utilized on the rapid movement of the KCB players and set it outside. Meldina Sande delivering it home very well. Service Lauren Juma. Nicely picked Juliana Mutira. And a very good score by Mariam Musa. She has been the star player, as we've always said, for this KCB side. Serving Esther Mutinda. Nicely picked from Meloma Saisai. Nicely picked again by Mariam Musa. It's quite a good attempt, but it's not fruitful. Serving Joy Lusenaka for the prison side. Nicely picked Juliana Mutira. And a quite wonderful execution by Mariam Musa. She has been on to the highest level of his performance in this particular match. On to the service is Mariam Musa. Let's see how it unfolds. Nicely served, Mariam Musa. Nicely picked. A good set by the libero. Said to drive it home, but it's easily blocked by Chepusgei to deny entry into their court. So this gives the Kenya Commercial Bank ladies a 5-point lead. Nicely picked from Meloma Saisai. And with an attempt, nicely set Esther. An attempt to get a score from other Kenya Commercial Bank, but Juliana Mutira has been shut down. In comes Wavinya for Meldina Sande. I think the backcourt area, and I think still on the service. Nicely served. Wavinya, nicely set. Tricky play. I think it's a net violation. The ball is still in play. I think Edith is accorded control the momentum of her body. Hence a touch on the net, giving the prison side the point. Still serving as I think Wavinya, sorry. Nicely picked. Another good pick, Mariam Musa. Nicely set. And tricky play again. Then set by Mariam Musa. Nicely picked. Another play. And it's a point to the Kenya prison side. Quite differential between the two sides. Not the best of sets from each team. Not the best of attacks from each team. Still serving is Wavinya. Nicely served, easily picked Juliana Mutira. Nicely picked again, Wavinya. Not the best of plays. I think the teammates to Pamela Masai could have assisted her with an attempt by following her closely, put the ball back in play. KCB with the service. Edith Wisa with the service. Nicely picked, the libero, and a quick execution by Pamela Masai to give the Prison side a point. Out comes Luem. In comes I think Chemutai still. A good server. Nicely served. Not easily picked. I think it's quite a misjudgment from Chemutai to pick that ball, but it's quite an effort from the initial service line. So Chepuske with the service. Nicely served, easily picked. Then attacked well by Pamela Masai to utilize Esther Mutinda's block, forcing the ball onto the antenna, giving Kenya Prison service a point. Onto the service line for the Prison side is Chemutai. Nicely served, picked but not well picked, and it's an overdig and well utilized by the Prison side through Lorraine. Still service is Chemutai. Nicely served, and it's an ace serve, leaving Lindsay Kosgei, the libero KCB, flat-footed. I think the ball dropped very, very fast. This calls from a timeout from the KCB side, Coach Japheth Munala, to call off the pressure.
Nairobi bwana, Western.
Wagana kakutana.
Bana game speech imekuwa ngumu. Kuna ule.
Back after the timeout. Still Chemutai serving for the Kenya Prisons women's side. Nicely served, and a miscommunication from the setter and the middle blocker. Hence, the ball falls in the court, giving Kenya Prison side point. Still Chemutai serving. Quite a good server. Nicely served. Well picked. And well executed by Juliana Namtira. I think there's some miscommunication. The ball had hit the antenna. This gives Kenya Prisons side the point. Still serving is Chemutai. Another reception error by KCB. This calls for another timeout by the KCB side. I think looking at the technical bench, they've lost it completely by the reaction of the coach. I think he needs to calm down and give the players a chance to calm off and relax in this particular timeout. So KCB have squandered their lead, maximally leading to the Kenya Prison side getting the 20th point, whereas KCB are at 18.
Can you remove that black tab? Which other is that one?
Service error by Chumutai. Taking KCB to 19. Onto the service line is Juliana Namutira. Nicely served, easily picked. An attempt to save it. Scrammed off. And well utilized by Belinda Baraza to take call for timeout by the Kenya Prison side. It's quite an intense match. We are almost at the climax of this particular set. This calls for a lot of precaution between both teams. Each team needs to be wild vigilant with what they do right now, because at this point any error can lead to an untimely and misfortunate ending. Substitute Maria Musa comes back. Charlene Sembel gets off the court. Still serving for the KCB side is Juliana Mutira. Nicely served, easily picked Mildina Sande. And sorry, Mildina is out. Pamela Masaisai, and a quick execution, actually utilizing the sims of the blocks and getting a score. Onto the service line is Pamela Masaisai. Nicely served, easily picked Juliana Mutira. Nicely picked by the libero, and well utilized by Ovinya to get a score for the Kenya Prisons side. This actually takes the Kenya Prison side to the match point. Pamela Masesai with the service, and a solid block by Lauren for them to reach the 24th point mark. Sorry for that. Initially it's 24 points for the Kenya Prison side and 20 points for the KCB. In comes Massimo Im to stabilize the team. Out comes Juliana Mutira, still serving is Pamela Masaisai. Nicely served, well picked Lindsay Kosgei. Nicely picked again by the libero, the Kenya Prison service side, but it's a net violation to Joy Lucenaka by then out goes Belinda. In comes, I think, Faith Sakong, if I'm not wrong. I think this is the technicality of the service. Nicely served, well picked, and a quick dunk by the setter Joy Lucenaka to take Prison to the 25th point mark and eventual winners of this second set. Earlier, as we said, it's a really entertaining match, having these teams being fierce rivals for a very long time. We now expect nothing other than a fight till the end. So the set goes to the Kenya Prisons service side by 25 points to 1. A bit of miscommunication and loss of focus from the KCB side, leading to Kenya Prison side getting this particular set, hoping that they can relax and focus well on the third set. So stay tuned, relax and wait for the third set. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. For those joining us on our YouTube channel, onto the comment section, we have John Karaja saying, watching live from Githunguri City. Welcome, John. We have Paul Masharia, Trailblazers versus DUD. Trailblazers were the eventual winners by 3-0. We have Kennedy Kibet, which game will be coming live in the men's category. After this, we have the Kenya Post Authority side facing off the Kenya Army side. After that, then we'll have the final game of the day where Trailblazers will be facing off with the Prisons men side. Then Oko Johnson, KCB got some promising ladies. It's quite evident they have well invested in their future. Oko Johnson again saying volleyball Ningumo. I agree. I think he's saying agree. Nilacha KPR wanaongeza scores mingi, imekuwaja wamepigwa. I think they lost some focus at the first set, lost the first set, but composed themselves in the second set and won the second set. So thank you, Ouko, for telling Agri that volleyball is a tough game. Lose focus a little bit, then you can find us at the losing edge. So it's the start of the third set of we start. I think it's 1 point apiece. Joy Lusenaka with the service, nicely picked Lindsay Kosgei, and it's a point to the KCB side. I think as the ball was going outside, got a little touch on a Kenya Prisons player. Onto the service line for the KCB side, Mariam Musa. Nicely served, easily picked by Sai. Ovinya with the attack, nicely picked Josephine, and it's a chance ball to the Kenya Prison side. Another pick again, nicely played, nicely saved by Chemutai. Then another set by, it's a chance ball to the KCB side. Edith still playing, nicely picked by the libero. Ovinya with the attack, and it's a net violation on Ovinya to give KCB a point. Still serving for KCB, Mariam Musa. Nicely served, easily picked Pamela Masai, and an attack by and lower him down the middle, leaving Eddie Dwiza with nothing to catch. Kenya Prison service with the side. With the service. Ovinya with the service. Nicely served, easily picked Mariam Musa. And it's an attack error by Jeff Kosgei, hitting the ball out of play. Some confrontation from the KCB players are thinking that it's a touch on the Kenya Prison side's block, but I think the first referee says that I'm well conversant with my judging, and my ruling states that there is no touch on the block. KCB players have to cool off. I think they should not get the temper up. This might come quite costly, especially with their setter, Esther Mutinda. Not convinced by the judgment. Eddie Twisa, the captain, KCB, nicely served. Esther Mutinda easily picked. It's recycled well by Esther Mutinda and a touch on the net by Esther Mutinda. Tried to salvage that set, but it was not quite fruitful. Still serving is Ovinya. Nicely served down the line. Picked well, Juliana Mutira. Powerful attack, and the ball is out of play. Initially I said KCB have to cool off, or else it's gonna come quite costly. These are the side effects of being quite agitated with the referee's decision. Another tricky save by the middle block KCB. Edithisa covering up what was looking like a chance ball to the prison side and getting a point through the blocks. Onto the service side, Edithisa for KCB. Nicely served, not well picked. Nicely picked by Musa. And a ball to the KCB side. And it's another point to the Kenya Prisons service side. And with the service, nicely served, easily picked Linstikos Gay. And it's a net violation on the Kenya Prisons blocks. Actually thinking they had gotten that particular point. Onto the service side, Linstikos Gay for KCB. Nicely served, easily picked to Ovinya. And a solid block from Belinda Baraza. It's quite fascinating how high she goes and quickly blocks down the opponent. Quite a good advantage for her, having been a very, very top player. Still serving KCB. Nicely picked Ovinya. And it's another point for Kenya Prisons service side. Chemutai to the service line. Nicely served. Easily picked Mariamu Musa. And another pick by the KCB side. An attempt to save it by Pamela Masaisai, but she wasn't quite successful. Onto the service line is Juliana Mutira for KCB. Nicely served, easily picked. And it's a quick dunk by a setter, the prison side, Joy Lusenaka, to give the prison side a point. Onto the service side is Pamela Masaisai. Nicely served. Not best of picks from Linstikos Gay. And a free gift to Lauren Juma, who she utilizes it very well and gets a score. Still serving is Pamela Masaisai with the service. Good pick, Linstikos Gay. An attack by Mario Musa, not quite successful. Attack by Lauren Juma, and it's a net violation by the KCB side. KCB are losing focus inch by inch I think the Kenya Prison side are quite using that to their advantage. Still serving is Pamela Masaisai. Nicely served, easily picked Lizzie, and a powerful attack by Belinda Baraza, but quite unfortunate. It's off court. So the Kenya Prison side are quickly running off at a very high
Acheni ujinga nyinyi.
solid block from the Kenya Prisons side. As I said earlier, KCB needs to concentrate a little bit and let the emotions not get the better part of their plays. So the Kenya Prison side take a 4-point lead. Sorry, it's a 5-point lead where they are at 12 points, whereas the Kenya Commercial Bank are at 7 points. KCB have to compose themselves and play well, or else it's not going to be a good ending today. But we trust they know what they're doing and they are well conversant with the pressure that is mounting inch by inch as they continue playing. Still serving Pamela Masesai, nicely served, easily picked Juliana Mutira, nicely set, and an attack by Mara Musa, a save by Wavinya, free ball to the KCB side, and an attack by Belinda Baraza to give KCB their 8th point. Serving is Belinda Baraza for KCB. Nicely served, easily picked, nicely set, and a quick execution by Lauren from the back of the center. She's actually a utility player. At some point, she's a middle blocker, but utilizes his agility and plays as a false opposite. Nicely served by Doreen, picked by, and a solid block by the Kenya Prisons side. Actually, the Kenya Commercial Bank side are being bit clumsy, and they are at receiving the best of the best they need, and they are not executing it very well. And it's attack off court by Juliana Namutira from the back court. Looking at things, how it's unfolding, things are going the Kenya Prisons way. This calls for substitution from the KCB side. Juliana Namutira comes out, Charlene Sevel comes in. I think Juliana lost some focus at some point. I think she needs some time to rest. Still serving. Lorraine for the Kenya Prison side. Nicely picked, Charlene Sembel. And a good execution by Edith Wissa off the Prison's block. Esther Mutinda with the service. Nicely served, well picked. Saved by the setter. And an attack by Maria Musa was out of court, but according to the judgment of the first referee, there is a touch on the ball. Still serving Esther Mutinda. Nicely served, easily picked. Well executed by Ovinya, using the KCB blocks. Onto the service line is Joy Lusenaka. Nicely served. Poor pick by Charlene. Sebel costing the team a score. These calls for change. Backs come in, Juliana Mutira. Out comes Charlene Sebel. Onto the service line. Joy still serving. Nicely picked, Lindsay Kosgei. And a powerful lead by Maramo Musa onto the diagonal side to give other KCB side point. So to the service line, it's Mariamo Musa. As she has been quite consistent, nicely served, easily picked. And a score by Kenya Prisons side. Onto the service line is Ovenya for Prisons women's side. Nicely served, easily picked, Lindsay Kosgei. And a solid block from Chebutai, combined well with Ann Loem to deny Juliana Namutira a chance to get a score for the KCB side. Still serving is Ovenya for the Prison side. Nicely served, not best of the picks. A free ball to the Kenya Prison side. And a tricky play by Pamela Masai Sai. Very, very clever. Not the best of set, but the trickiest of plays by Masai Sai. This calls for a timeout from the KCB side. Looking at how things are going, it's not going how they expected. This is Prison side getting to the 20th point mark, whereas KCB following behind with 11 points. On to the comment section. Well informed to you guys. The next matches will be Kenya Ports Authority against the Kenya Army side. Then after that, the climax of the day will be entertained by the Trailblazers Volleyball Club and the Prisons Service Men side. Service by Ovenya, picked by Juliana Mutira. It's a chance ball to the Kenya Prison side, and it's attack to quite unfortunate not to get that score. Substitution. Belinda comes out. Chepkus Gate 2 comes out. I think Coach Munala is trying to give his star players some bit of rest so that they can come in the other set with some reserved energy. Onto the service line is Edith Wisa for the KCB side. Nicely served, not well picked. Trying to salvage that point. Not picked well by Edith Wisa. Set outside. A block attempt by Kenya Prisons, but it's off the court. Still serving Edith Wisa for a KCB. Edith service, nicely served, easily picked. Ovenya as the set Joy. Tricky play by Pamela Masasai, not successful. Balls going off the pitch. Pamela Masasai, not the best of pick by Edith set by Mariam Musa, nicely picked by the libero. And a play by Chemutai, but it's off the court. These calls for timeout by coach Joseph Baraza and try to cool off the players. So the Kenya Prisons side squandering most of the points, giving the KCB side some boost in morale. Still serving Eddie Twisa for KCB. At least KCB have reduced the margin back to 6. Trying the level best to close the margin so that they can at least move close to the Kenya Prisons. A scoreline nicely picked by the KCB side. And it's a net violation on the Kenya Prison side. This calls for an intervention by the captain, trying to see how they can salvage these points, but it's not going their way. Still serving is this for KCB. Nicely served, easily picked by the libero. Pamela Masai Sai with the attack. I think there's a complaint that the ball touched Pamela Masai as she was coming down. It's not quite evident. I think the second referee is there to help the first referee. Onto the service is Shemo, I think, as the serve easily picked Maria Musa. And an attack by Chemutai of KCB. Service by Chemutai. Nicely served, easily picked. As picked again. And I think it's a violation of the ball being carried from the KCB side. A serving for the prison side is Chemutai. Nicely picked Lindsay Kosgei. Not the best of hits. And a quick attack in the middle by Loreen. I think the KCB middle blocker should have attacked that ball quite hard so that he could have attempted on getting a score, but it was quite unfortunate, and that is what you get if you don't get a score. Nicely set, and a very solid block by Loreen on Juliana Nambutira to close her down. Still serving is Chemutai for the Kenya Prison side. This takes Kenya Prisons to 24. Not the best of picks set by an attack by Loreen to give Prisons their 25th point in this particular set, and them becoming the eventual winners of these particular set. So the Kenya Prison side take a lead in sets by 2 sets to 1. So KCB need to dig deep and see what they need to do for them to come back into this game. But the Kenya Prison side sit well comfortable with a 2-1 lead in the scoreline.
Nini sasa? Mambo yangu haya. Karibu kila kitu sasa hivi. Karibu yeye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 4th set of this entertaining encounter between the Kenya Prisons women's side and the Kenya Commercial Bank side. Kicking off is the KCB, the Kenya Prison side with the first score. Quite entertaining. I think the Prison side look and they mean business in this particular final set. They only need this set for them to call it a day, whereas the Kenya Commercial Bank need this set and let's say the eventual set for them to get this particular game. And quite an costly error by Wavinya, attacking the ball out, giving KCB their first score. On the service line is Esther Mutinda, nicely served, easily picked. Not the best of picks by Lindsay Kosgei. This takes Prisons to 2, whereas KCB still have 1 point. Nicely served, Joy Lusenaka, easily picked Mariam Musa, and an attack by Juliana Namutira. Onto the service line, Juliana Namutira. Nicely picked. And good pick. Nice effort by Esther Mutinda, but it's quite unfortunate. The ball didn't continue with play. Ovinya with the service. Nicely served. Well picked, Lindsay Kosgei. Nicely picked again, Ovinya from the backcourt. Chemu with the drive. Miscommunication between Julian Namutira and the setter. I think the setter wanted to call for help, but it was the wrong time. Still serving is Wavinya. Nicely picked, Lizzie Kosgei. And a tricky play by Chep Kosgei to give KCB a point. Nice pick of Vinyo. And a solid block from KCB, denying Chemutai access to their court. Still serving is Eddie Tuis, captain KCB. Nicely served, easily picked by the libero. And an attack down the middle by Yan to give Prison a point and regain their 1 point lead. Onto the service line, it's Ann Loem. Nicely served. And communication, not communication, needs a judgment error by the opposite KCB, leading to a touch on his body and the ball eventually going out of play. Still serving is Ann for Kenya Prison's side. Nicely served. Well picked, Juliana Mutira. Good play, but quite unfortunate. It's blocked by the Kenya Prison's side. Still serving is the Kenya Prison side through Ann Loem. Nicely served, well picked. And the ball is out of play. KCB need to maintain their focus, or else they're losing it in this particular game. They're losing scores away, they're not supposed to lose it. And it's another good conversion by Jeff Kosgei for KCB. Jeff Kosgei with the service for KCB. Nicely served, easily picked for Mela Masaisai. Another pick, Juliana Namutira. Nicely set. Tricky play by Belinda Baraza. Not using a lot of power, using skill and getting a score 4. KCB. Still serving is Kosgei. Nicely served, easily picked Wavinya. Tricky play, nicely picked Josephina Kesa. And the ball is out of play. Not a very good set. I think Pamela tried to help the setter, but it was quite unfortunate. KCB are slowly regaining their momentum. Another good pick of Vinya. Pamela Musaisai, nicely picked. Another pick, good by. And another tricky play by Chemutai. It's not the good. Another pick, Maria Musa. Another pick, nicely picked by Maria Musa, and a clever play by Belinda Baraza. Not expected by her, but getting the score for her side. KCB still serving. Nicely served. Not the best of picks. And Lorraine quite adjusting herself and playing accurately to give Kenya Prisons side a point. So onto the service line is Chemutai, consistent in serving. Nicely served, picked well by Juliana Namutira, well set by Esther Mutinda, and well executed by Belinda Baraza. Mariam Musa goes to serve for KCB. Well picked. And it's a very, very hard and tough hit by Pamela Masaisai to give Kenya Prison Service their point. On the service line is Pamela Masaisai. Nicely served, easily picked. Another tricky play by Belinda Baraza onto the Kenya Prisons side. I think the Kenya Prison side, I think calling for this first referee, thinking that Belinda Baraza is carrying the ball. Service by Belinda Baraza for KCB. A good service, nicely picked the libero. Tricky play, nicely picked, it was gay. Nicely set. And it's a block by Juliana Namatira on to Loreen Ajua. I think this time Loreen was well seen off. This calls for a substitution by the Kenya Prison side. Out goes the setter, and the opposite. In comes another opposite, and the setter traversing in. And a solid block by the Kenya Commercial Bank, bringing themselves back well into this game. Belinda Baraza still serving. Nicely served, well picked. Nicely picked by Belinda Baraza. Another pick. Another pick again. And it's an error by the Kenya Prisons side, quite costly. This calls for timeout from Coach Joseph Baraza. It's slowly creeping in the Prison side. I think they really need to focus and see how this game goes. This game, they really need one set, and KCB need a set for them to go for the decider. Service error by KCB. Onto the service line is Lori Juma for the Prisons service side. Nicely served. Well picked, Lindsay Kosgei. Nicely picked. And it's a block touch or a block out by Anne Loem of the Prison side, giving KCB a point. Nice play from Movinya off the Kenya Prison side to play these. Nicely pick and a quick execution by Eddie Twiza off the Kenya Commercial Bank side. I think KCB started to regain their momentum in this particular match. Service by Juliana Mutira, nicely picked. Tricky play and a net violation by KCB. Service, Kenya Prison service. The service, net serve, it picked Maria Musa. And great conversion by Maria Musa. She has been out of the picture a little bit, but I think she is bringing herself back into the game. Onto the KCB side is Eddie Twiza with the service. Nicely served, well picked. Nicely picked. And a solid block by Belinda Baraza to deny Chemutai access to their court. This takes it to a 4-point lead for the Kenya Commercial Bank. Coach Baraza seems to be telling his players, please don't lose focus. We really need this set for us to win. Nicely picked by Eddie Twiza. Another pick by KCB side. And a play on the block by Pamela Masai side to ensure that particular point goes to the Prison side. So Anne with the service for Kenya Prisons. Nicely served, easily picked Juliana Mutira. Quick execution by Jebus Gay back to the Prisons side. Jebus Gay back to the serving line. Not the best of picks by Masai side. I think it's going to be a chance ball too. The KCB side, nicely picked. And it's a point to the Kenya Prisons side. They should have utilized that chance ball. It's quite often most players need to use their chance balls very well for them to close the gap of a particular match. Service is Chemutai. Nicely served, well picked. A block by Lauren on Belinda Baraza to ensure they are still in this game. Still serving is Chemutai with the service. She has been quite instrumental in her service. Nicely served, well picked. Juliana Mutira. And Maria Musa delivers what she has been doing all a game. This makes it 19 for KCB, whereas the Prison side are at 15 scores. Maria Musa with the service, nicely picked from Bella Masai side. Lorraine with the tip, successful. Tricky play by Maria Musa. Chance ball by. And a very powerful lead onto the Kenya Prison side. This is quite the effects of easy balls towards your opponents. The repercussions are quite devastating. Still serving for KCB is Mariam Musa. Nicely served, well picked Masai Sai, not the best of picks. Covered by Joy. A tricky play. Nicely picked by Esther. An attempt by Mariam Musa to take it across. But it was not quite. Out goes Wavinya for the Kenya prison side. In comes Meldina Sunday, hoping to create some more chances for this Kenya prison side. Nicely picked Maria Musa. And a block by. It's another conversion by Juliana Namutira to give KCB a well-deserved 5-point lead. Out comes Belinda Baraza. In comes Massimo Im for the service. Nicely served, well picked, and nicely executed. By Lorraine. So it's Lorraine with the service for Kenya Prisons side. Nicely served, well picked Juliana Mutira. And an attempt nicely served by Lorraine. Chance ball to the KCB side. And a powerful hit by Juliana Namutira to give KCB the well-deserved point. Esther Mutinda with the service. Nicely served, well picked. Powerful hit, nicely served Juliana Namutira. Easily set, Maria Musa. Nicely picked again, Pamela Masai Sai. Easily set, Joy Lusenaka. Powerful hit, nice recycling. A ball nicely picked, Maria Musa from the backcourt. And a good execution by Jebus Gay to give KCB at the point. This takes KCB to the 23-point mark and well close to the match point of this particular set. As said earlier, for those wishing to join us live, we are in the Moi International Indoor Sports Arena. For those who are unable to join us, either through work or personal stuff, you can join us through our Trailblazers Volleyball Club YouTube page. It's back from the timeout. KCB is still leading 23 points to 18 points. It's not over until it's over. You might think it's over, but a change, it's quite inevitable. Nicely picked by the captain of the Malkia Strikers, Massimo Im. Nice set outside. Powerful hit by Melissa Sande, but it's quite unfortunate. It's off the court, sending KCB to the 24th point, which is the match point. KCB requiring only 1 point to get this particular set. Nicely served, Esther Mutinda. Well picked. Not the best of sets. And good execution by Jebus Gay to take KCB to 25, sending the game to a decider. So it's 2 points apiece. For those who are not well conversant with the volleyball game, as of now, in volleyball, there is no draw. You are required to get a winner. Hence, when you have 2 sets apiece, you go for the decider, which is one of the shortest sets in a particular match. Is played halfway at 15 points. It's a set of no error, a set where you require maximum concentration because it's a very, very, very short set. So as of now, Kenya Prison sides have 2 sets, whereas at the KCB side have 2 sets, sending the match into a decider. So sit back, relax, and wait for the decisive set. Right on the screen, you can see statistics from the 4th set, where KCB were the eventual winners. On the attack section, we have KCB with 16 attacks, Kenya Prison side with 11 blocks. We have 5 from KCB, whereas Kenya Prisons have 1. Service SS, Kenya Prisons have 1, whereas KCB have none. Opponent's error, it was shared a piece where KCB have 5 errors, the Kenya Prison side have 5, and the total scores are 25 points for KCB and 18 to Kenya Prisons.
Ngoja, anakuja kucommentate Kenya KPL. Namwambia niachie. Siala zaidi.
Inaleta? Alitaka kwenda huko. Kucheza game next. Bado ndo anataka kumuona. Nani yeye anataka kumuona?
Bado sijasikia tu. Usipoonekana utasikia utaanza kusema mbona.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 5th and the decisive set of this particular match. Kicking off is KCB. Hit by Chemutai on to the KCB side, but it's quite unfortunate she could not get the point. Solid block from KCB side, a positive start from the KCB side. On to the comment section. Agri Nicodemus, he made a 3-1. It's quite unfortunate we are on the decisive set. Malaysia Uma, Stana Enterprise, ukipata hii pia quarter final kwa bili yangu. I think they are talking with Agri, but I think the game is not yet over. So Edwin Kiprono getting very loud and clear. Thank you very much, Edwin. So Kenya Prison side gets the first point. And Loem with the service, nicely served. Well picked, Juliana Mutira. And a very powerful hit by Maria Musa down the line. To give KCB their second point.
Mbona unapigia makofi mtu mmoja?
Ucheze hivyo pia wewe.
Ucheze hivyo.
Wewe ucheze hivyo.
Nicely served, Maria Musa. Tricky play, Lorraine Juma. Not the good, nicely picked. And a ball to the KCB side. Powerful attack by Juliana Namutira to give KCB their third point. Still serving is Maria Musa for KCB. KCB have started off with a nice gesture. Quite unfortunate the ball has touched Pamela Masai's shoes. This cause pause. A timeout by the Kenya Prison side. They're trailing by 3 points. As you said earlier, it's quite a short set requiring maximum concentration and a minimal error. Back come the team. So it's 4 points to KCB, whereas the Kenya Prison sides have only 1 point. Still serving for KCB is Mariamu Musa. She has been quite instrumental for this KCB side. Nicely served, easily picked by the libero. Nice set. And it's an attack error by Pamela Masai's side onto the antenna, giving KCB their 5th point of the game. Still serving is Mariamu Musa for KCB. Nicely served, well picked. I think it's an over receive by the libero. These takes KCB a point further. This is a substitution call for the Kenya Prison side. In comes veteran player, Maio, and out goes Chemutai. It's well with the setters. Still serving is Mariamu Musa, KCB. Nicely served, well picked. Nice set and a block from Lorraine. Good attack from Pamela Masai side, but not the best of sets by Esther Mutinda, but well saved by Edith Wisa. This takes the game to 7 points for KCB and 1 point for the Kenya Prisons side. Still serving is Maria Musa. Nicely served, well saved by, and quite uncostly error by Jeff Kosgei to take it to 2 points for Kenya Prisons and still 7 points for the KCB side. Onto the service line is Pamela Masai side, Kenya Prison service. Nicely served, well picked Maria Musa. And a very powerful attack by Edith Wisa at the back line of the pitch to take the game to a change, where the KCB side lead by 8 solid scores, whereas the Kenya Prison side follow closely by 2 scores. It's not over until it's over. You have to reach the 15th point mark in order to call it a day. Onto the service line is Belinda Bara. Sorry, is Edith Wisa. Nicely served, well picked from Ella Masaisai. It's a net violation by, I think, Jeb Gosgei, giving Kenya Prison Service their point. Service by Lauren Juo. Nicely served, well picked, Lindsay Kosgei. A tricky serve. Saved by Lindsay Kosgei. It's a drive by Juliana Mutira and a touch from the setter, confusing the backcourt player. Hence, a ball goes out of play, giving KCB their 9th point.
Umezima. Ulikuwa unataka kusema nini? Ndonga nini?
A serve by KCB. Still serving Chepkosgei. Nice pick by Wavinya. Nicely picked by Mariam Musa. Another play by Juliana Mutira, take it cross. And a solid block by Belinda Baraza, combined well with Esther Mutinda to deny Wavinya an access to their court. This calls for timeout from Coach Baraza. Looking at the way things are going, it's not going quite effective as they expected. So KCB lead at this game by a solid 11 points. Kenya Prison Service follow behind with 3 points. KCB need only 4 points to call it a day, whereas the Kenya Prison side need a whopping 12 points. Nicely served, Chepkosgei. Not picked well by Masaisai. And a quick dunk by Esther Mutinda to give KCB the 12th point. Onto this comment section, Isabella, who is this Sanaju predictions. Zako Manze, I think from a previous comment, Stana said 3-2 in favor of KCB, and the way things are unfolding, it's quite evident that way. Another solid block by Juliana Mutira to deny Maio with a point. So Caleb Moniki volleyball is very funny, is where you can only laugh at the final result. That's quite true. Edward Kiprono, sorry, it's a previous comment getting loud and clear. Hope you're still in this particular match. Still serving is Chepkosgei for KCB. Quite unfortunate the service is out of play. Service by Maio. Nicely served. Miscommunication, nicely picked. And it's a net violation by Meldina Sande. Quite unfortunate, sending KCB to the match point of this particular set. KCB need only 1 point, whereas Prisons need a whopping 11 points. Service Juliana Mutira. Nicely served, easily picked. And it's a point to the Kenya Commercial Bank, who are the eventual winners of this particular set. As we said earlier, it's an entertaining match which was needed to be watched. Quite entertaining. 5-set thriller between the Kenya Commercial Bank and the Kenya Prison Service side, where the Kenya Commercial Bank were the eventual winners by 3 sets to 2 of the Kenya Prison side. So thank you very much for staying tuned with us in this particular encounter. So stay tuned. We have more to come. So on to the next match. It's a match of the men's section. It's the Kenya Ports Authority side against the Kenya Army sides. Quite entertaining match to watch still as we wait for the grand finale of the day. We are going to be entertained by the Kenya Prisons men and the Trailblazers Volleyball Club. With you today in this particular match was your commentator Luke Opeto. Stay tuned and see you in the next match.
Uno.